Angkor Wat, a monument of Khmer architecture. This World Heritage Site is Cambodia's most famous location. It's the crown jewel of the town of Siem Reap. Usually packed with foreign tourists, the coronavirus pandemic has left streets silent.
ដោយថាមានភ្ញៀវក្នុងស្រុកបន្តិចបន្តួចប៉ុណ្ណោះឯងភ្ញៀវខ្មែរយើងហ្នឹងណាចាលក់បានខ្លះចា
In central Siem Reap is a privately run school where children can learn art for free. It's called the Small Art School. Soon after regular school finishes up for the day, children gather for the beginning of art classes. There's a temperature check before entering. The kids also disinfect their hands. As of March 2021, just 820 people in Cambodia have been diagnosed with COVID-19, and none have died. It's the result of a national anti-infection campaign.
Hey, so today?
I don't so today.
Hey.
The art school is run by Kasahara Tomoko from Japan. A great number of Cambodia's teachers were killed under Pol Pot's regime, and art lessons have yet to return to the nation's curriculum. As a high school art teacher in Japan, Kasahara wanted to teach the joy of art to Cambodian children. She opened the school in 2008. Around 100 students attend one 90-minute class each week. The lessons and all art supplies are free and open to anyone who wishes to learn to paint. Kasahara runs the school on her own funds and on donations.
なあちゃんさ、形入れてくれる？皆さん形入れてごらん。もう大きいからここに太陽があって、でここから光が出るとこう明るくなる。でこちらに少しね影が入るとこういう丸み感が出るよ。この牛の体の表現がとっても面白いです。ね、ちょっと悲しそうなんだけども。悲しそうだけども撮ってね。はい。そしたらね、サレイちゃんね、こういうパターンのこういうところも少し入れてごらん。絵がまとまるから。いい作品になってきましたよ。ほら。あと描くとこどこ？自分で考えてごらん。あと描くとこどこ？どうしたらもっと良くなる？面白くなる？見てごらん。もうおしまい？ちょっぱい？ちょっぱい？ちょっぱいか。そうか。でね、もうちょっと時間あるから、もう少しここで考えてみててね。はい。一番大事にしているのは子供が考えたことを否定しない。そのままいいねと。でここをこうもっとするといいねと。絵を描くっていうのはこう覚える作業とかそういうものじゃないですね。自分が発見し、自分が絵の具を作り、その画面の中で自分の答えを見つけていく評価なんですね。絵の上手、うまい下手じゃなくて、本人が描きたくて描いたもので本人が納得すれば、それは一つの作品だと思ってます。
The school's first floor has a gallery which displays the students' work. Any sales made go towards funding the school. Each work showcases the children's total creative freedom.
「人間の一生の中で子供時代って私の計算だと10年なんですね。物事が少し分かってだんだん成長して大人になる本当に短い10年の間に子供は子供としての完成度のある時間を過ごしていると思ってます。子供が持っている計算しない純粋な絵がありますので、 そういうのを書いてもらっていればいいかなと思ってます。
The school doesn't just teach young children. Painting on the terrace downstairs is a class of students ranging from teenagers to people in their 30s. Kasahara accepts anyone who wants to learn. The school is also unusual in that students can learn any technique they choose, including watercolor, oils, or acrylics. The teachers who work alongside Kasahara are all her former students. There are currently 6, and all of them work other jobs at the same time. They teach in shifts.
អ្វីដែលខ្ញុំរៀនបានបើខ្ញុំអាចចែករំលែកទៅដល់អ្នកដទៃរត់តែច្រើនឬមកក៏កូនក្មេងរត់តែច្រើនយើងទទួលបានចំណេះនឹងវិញរត់តែច្រើនដូចគ្នាបានខ្ញុំអាចចេះតែបង្រៀនដល់ពួកគាត់បានល្អទៅព្រោះប្រមុនយើងមិនដែលរំពឹងទុកថាយើងមករៀនហើយបានខ្លាយជាជំនួយការឬក៏គ្រូបង្រៀនបន្តទេហើយយើងសប្បាយចិត្តហើយយើងបានគិតថាយើងបានចែករំលែកនៅអ្វីដែលយើងបានធ្លាប់រៀនពីមុនហ្នឹងបន្តទៅក្មេងជំនាន់ក្រោយទៅឲ្យក្មេងបន្តគ្នា
The staff hold a general meeting every Monday morning. The teachers discuss how each class is doing and share their feedback.
មួយខាងគឺខ្លះហើយឃើញថាបើសម្រាប់អ្នកធ្វើនេះការគូដំបូងរបស់គាត់គឺពិបាកមួយគាត់អត់ទាន់យល់តម្រងច្បាស់មកដៃទី2របៀបនៃការប្រើពណ៌
分離力が判断してもこの人たちはだいたい基礎的に色の使い方が分かったって段階でちょっと私に連絡ください。
គាត់ថាពួកគាត់ត្រូវការចំណាយពេលច្រើនអញ្ចឹងត្រូវការយើងនិយាយលើកទឹកចិត្តគាត់ខ្លះហើយនឹងមួយទៀតគាត់មានគំនិតរបស់គាត់ដែរ
In their spare time, the staff use the school studio to create their own art. Hai loved painting from a young age and learned on his own. He met Kasahara as a high school student, and his talent blossomed under her teachings. His work combines paper cutouts and watercolor to create a completely unique aesthetic. He's won prizes both in Cambodia and from abroad.
យើងចង់ធ្វើអ្វីដែលទៅខ្លួនឯងដែលត្រូវនឹងគោលការណ៍ដែលអ្នកគ្រូគាត់ជាយាមបំផុសឲ្យយើងគំនិតឲ្យយើងនឹងជាយាមបង្កើតអ្វីដែលខ្លួនឯង
Kuntia began learning at the school at the age of 18. He runs his own business designing and making garden products and teaches at the school twice a week. He draws on Cambodian culture, religion, and landscapes, but also creates more abstract pieces.
មុនពេលដែលចូលរៀននៅសាលានេះខ្ញុំជាក្មេងម្នាក់ដែលចូលចិត្តស្រឡាញ់ខាងគំនូរប៉ុន្តែរាល់ការសិក្សានៅក្នុងខេត្តរបស់យើងគឺអត់មានថ្នាក់រៀនទេសម្រាប់ចំណុចសំខាន់នៅក្នុងការសិក្សានៅក្នុងសាលាគំនូរនេះចំណុចសំខាន់បំផុតគឺការប្រើប្រាស់គំនិតសម័យសម័យ
Bundit lost his mother at a very young age and was raised by his aunt. Creating art at the school helped him overcome his grief. He uses bright colors and realistic images of birds and flowers.
យើងរៀនបានពីចំណុចល្អរបស់គាត់ដូចជាទម្លាប់ក្នុងការចែករំលែកចំណេះដឹងក្នុងការនិយាយទៅខាងក្មេងៗហើយនិងក្នុងការប្រស្រ័យតាក់ទងនឹងអ្នកជិតខាងរបស់គាត់
Sovan Muni is the youngest of the staff. He teaches at the school while studying computer programming at university.
រូបដែលខ្ញុំតែងតែគូហើយនឹងមានចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍គឺគូឡើងដោយការប្រើប្រាស់នៃការច្នៃប្រឌិតដូចជាការសម័យហើយភាគច្រើនគឺខ្ញុំគូបែប ជាធម្មជាតិឬក៏ដូចជាបែបទំនើប
The school's only other female teacher is Sopeak. She's gifted at painting Cambodian flowers and animals in soft, gentle hues. Her work has even placed in a Japanese design contest. Sopeak's family runs a laundry business in downtown Siem Reap. She inherited the shop from her parents and now runs it as the owner. The family was poor, and as a child, Sopeak was often kept home from school to help with the business. When she began learning under Kasahara in 2010, her gifts bloomed.
ដោយពីមុនដែលខ្ញុំចូលសាលាហ្នឹងគឺខ្ញុំធ្វើការគឺយើងលក្ខណៈថាបែបថារស់មួយថ្ងៃដើម្បីមួយថ្ងៃយើងអត់មានការគិតសម្រាប់ថ្ងៃទៅមុខថាធ្វើអីអញ្ចឹងតែនៅពេលដែលខ្ញុំចូលសាលាគណូអ្នកគ្រូគាត់បានបំផុសទឹកចិត្តដោយការសួរយើងថាតើយើងគិតមិននៅថ្ងៃក្រោយអីអញ្ចឹងហើយអាហ្នឹងគឺដើម្បីគាត់ផ្ដល់ឱកាសយើងស្វែងរកអ្វីដែលយើងចង់បង្ហាញទៅខ្លួនឯង
The small school uses art to show kids in difficult circumstances how to strive for something more. Kasahara once taught art at a public high school in Tokyo. She wanted her students to discover a glittering world through her art lessons. In her 40s, she began to consider doing the same for disadvantaged children in other countries. Kasahara began to save up and make plans. At 60, she opened the art school in Siem Reap. It was a journey that began after meeting a Cambodian couple in Tokyo.
貧しさの中で貧しいけれども自分の未来をちょっと思い描けるような子どもたちは応援したいと思ってました。自分で自分の考えたことを表現するのはそれができるようになるっていうのはすごい価値なんですね、私にとっては。自分の周りにある世界の見え方も変わってきます。そういう経験をさせてあげたいと思ってやっております。
At first, she struggled with the language. So she employed Hia as an interpreter. He was born to a poor family and learned Japanese at a care home run by Japanese staff.
ヒアさんが高校終わってすぐに来て、正直言いますと、養護施設で育ってますからお金の使い方も何もわからないで来まして、親みたいな気持ちになりましたね。
最初はやっぱりその美術用語とか全然わからずに、運よく簡単な日本語のお話ししてくれたので、その簡単に子どもたちに通訳してあげたんですね。
とっても簡単なんです。もっとたくさん色を使おう、大きく描こう、元気よく描こう、それだけですから訳すの簡単ですよね。私が授業中にちょっと絵の具を無駄にしたりとかいい加減使ってちょっとムッとして言葉がきつくなる時にヒアさんが子供なんだからっていうことで私の説明を楽しそうに説明してくれて子供に笑いが出るんです。だからムードは本当によくしてもらっています。
Hia handles the administrative work alongside Sakata Yuko, who has been part of Kasahara's team since the school began. Kasahara plans to eventually leave the school in Hia's hands. After working as Kasahara's interpreter, Hia has become interested in art and taken up painting himself. His work is filled with warmth and focuses on family bonds. Today, Hia is heading out in the school's car. This is the temple where he lived as a child, before moving to a care home. Hia's family sent him here because they couldn't afford to feed another child. He lived here between the ages of 6 and 13.
អញ្ចឹងនេះជាកន្លែងកត់ព្រះតេជគុណហើយពួកខ្ញុំគេងនៅខាងមុខបាទនៅខាងមុខកន្លែងនេះនៅការ៉ូហ្នឹងបាទនៅលើការ៉ូហ្នឹងតែម្ដងបាទកន្លែងនៃខ្ញុំគេងបាទដោយសារកាលនោះយើងអត់សូវមានអាគារច្រើនដូចឥឡូវទេដោយសារកន្លែងអាគារតិចអញ្ចឹងហើយបានជាយើងតែបាច់តែតម្រូវឲ្យយើងគេងនៅខាងមុខឬក៏ញ៉ាំនៅទីនេះផ្ទាល់តែម្ដងបាទកន្លែងយើងរៀនបាទ
Hia and the other children slept outside under a single blanket, even on the coldest winter nights. They earned money for schooling by climbing the temple's trees, picking blossoms, and selling them to visitors. This monk looked after Hia in his childhood. Hia married 2 years ago and now lives with his wife's relatives. Meeting Kasahara helped him get out of a tough situation, and he now has his own family. His art is filled with images of happy families, the one thing he always dreamed of. Before the school opens each day, the teachers carefully disinfect the classroom. It's vital that the young students don't get infected on the premises. A group of students arrives at the school. These kids live in a care home, separated from their parents. They come once a week to learn how to draw. They're in the same situation that Hia once was.
ការដាំនេះខ្ញុំក៏ជាក្មេងវិជ្ជាមណ្ឌលដែរបាទប៉ុន្តែដោយការមានឆ្លងកាត់នៅក្នុងការនៅវិជ្ជាមណ្ឌលទាំងការវឹកវើទាំងការរៀនបាទទាំងការរៀនដូចបាទខ្ញុំគិតថាអានេះវាជាបំណិនដូចជាឱកាសមួយដ៏ល្អសម្រាប់ពួកគាត់បាទព្រោះសារគាត់ថាមិនត្រូវគាត់អាចគូរូបនឹងគាត់អាចបំបែករកអ្វីដែលថ្មីសម្រាប់ខ្លួនគាត់
One especially enthusiastic student from the care home is 17-year-old Kon. He's been coming since he was 6 and dreams of becoming an architect. Kon's most passionate teacher is Bundit.
Okay, conគ្រូចង់ឲ្យយើងធ្វើកិច្ចការផ្ទះមួយដែលតេតងនឹងការគូរុកមនុស្សបកមាតែរុកនឹងយើងអាចសម័យគូក៏បានណាតែយើងយល់ពីទម្រង់មនុស្សខ្លះៗណាដែលមានកមារុកក្មេងក៏បានចាស់ក៏បានដែរបើយើងគិតថារុកណាល្អយើងគូអញ្ចឹងអានេះថាគូក៏ឡើយ
Kon has 1 week to create his painting. But why did Bundit choose this topic?
ពីព្រោះយើងចង់ខ្ញុំចង់ធ្វើតែសមត្ថភាពរបស់គាត់តែគាត់អាចរៀនគូមនុស្សហ្នឹងត្រឹមត្រូវអត់ព្រោះអីពីមុនគាត់ធ្លាប់តែគូរូបផ្សេងពីហ្នឹងបាទពេលដែលបានទទួលលំហាត់ពីលោកគ្រូហ្នឹងខ្ញុំគិតថាមានអារម្មណ៍ថាពិបាកប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំនឹងខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងធ្វើ
This is the home where Kon and the others live. Some are orphans, while others have parents who can't raise them. All 14 live together. Kon's parents are both working in Thailand. They brought him here when he was 6 years old.
កាលពីតូចយើងវាអត់សូវមានអារម្មណ៍ថាយើងអត់សូវដឹងអីហ្មងអញ្ចឹងយើងអត់ទាន់សូវខ្វល់ខ្វាយអារឿងអញ្ចឹងទេប៉ុន្តែដល់ពេលឥឡូវអត់បានរស់នៅជាមួយគាត់អញ្ចឹងមានអារម្មណ៍ថាឯកោហើយខ្វះភាពកក់ក្ដៅរឿងចង់ទៅរស់នៅជាមួយពុកម្ដាយគឺចង់ប៉ុន្តែនៅទីនេះគឺអាចងាយស្រួល
The next day, Khon comes to the art studio after high school to focus on his homework. Bundit's suggestion should help him graduate from childhood works to more mature creations. His teachers are eager to see what he'll come up with. Today, staff are heading out to a village on the outskirts of Siem Reap. Their destination is an elementary school in O Village, a farming community of around 1600. They hold a weekly art class here. Kasahara doesn't take part. Her former students do the teaching. They're led by Kuntia, who starts with a morning greeting. The small art school holds occasional classes like this at other rural elementary schools in the area. Kuntia explains why.
ជានៅតាមជនបទយើងអាចនិយាយបានថាជីវភាពរបស់គាត់វារៀងខ្វះខាតច្រើនអត់មានលទ្ធភាពដូចក្មេងៗនៅតាមទីក្រុងទេពួកគាត់គឺចាំបាច់ត្រូវមានការទទួលអប់រំថ្មីនិងបង្ហាញពីការមើលឃើញតម្លៃនៅក្នុងសិល្បៈមួយក៏ដូចជាតម្លៃនៅក្នុងការរស់នៅរបស់គាត់ មានអារម្មណ៍ថាស្បែកចិត្តពេលដែលបានមករៀនគូគនូអីខ្លះមានរទេះនេះគូនេះមនុស្សគេដឹងឈ្មោះtôi ចង់ឲ្យប្រទេសគេបានដឹងថាអង្គរវត្តជារបស់ខ្មែររូបហ្នឹងអានេះមានរូបអង្គររូបកាឈូអានេះរូបទសននៅមុខអង្គរអើយរូបទសននៅមុខអង្គរអានេះរូបស្វាហើយអានេះព្រះអាទិត្យអានេះព្រះអាទិត្យហើយអានេះដើមត្នោតអានេះរូបតារាយ សិស្សនៅជនបទយើងនៅកម្ពុជាហ្នឹងគឺមិនសូវបានរៀនទេមុខវិជ្ជានៃការគូនេះប៉ុន្តែបើពីសង្គមមុនការរៀនការគូគណូហ្នឹងវាមានដូចជានៅខ្ញុំអីណាមកការហ្នឹងមកគឺខ្ញុំមានការត្រេកអរជាខ្លាំងដើម្បីឲ្យក្មេងវាយល់តម្លៃនៃការគូ
The school staff want to share what Kasahara Tomoko has taught them with the next generation. Their work is slowly extending beyond Siem Reap. Meanwhile, Khon is hard at work in the studio. He has 2 days until he submits his portrait to Bundit.
ចំណុចកន្លែងតម្រង់មុខយើងពិបាកត្រង់ថាធ្វើកន្លែងសមល់វាអត់ងាយត្រូវហើយធ្វើច្រំដែរធ្វើនិយាយរួមទៅធ្វើតតែឲ្យចេញជារូបរាងឲ្យមើលទៅដូចជាតម្រង់មិន
It's finally time to show Bundit his homework. Khon arrives at the school and heads to the studio to find his teacher.
Ồ, cũng muốn bên đây ăn ta.
តែខ្ញុំចង់ឲ្យលោកគ្រូជួយកាត់ពីត្រង់មកថាតែខ្ញុំខ្វះខាតខ្លាំងណាស់ ទី1ឡើងវមកខ្សែឡានហ្នឹងវាអត់ទាន់ត្រូវទេមានតែមុខហ្នឹងបិទឆឹកតែខ្សែមិនចេះ
ចឹងបបោមាត់គឺនៅខាងនេះវាត្រូវខ្លីជាងនៅខាងនេះខាងនេះរាងវែងជាងណាហើយភ្នែកនេះមួយខ្ពស់មួយទាបហើយសេរីខុសហើយកុំឲ្យ
There are some minor criticisms, but Kon did even better than Bundit expected.
ហ្នឹងហើយមួយទៀតសម្រាប់ខ្ញុំវិញកូនគាត់គូបានល្អគាត់ស្លាប់តែយល់ខ្សែស្មាមានណាខ្សែមើលចំនេះហើយចំណុចល្អរបស់គាត់គឺគាត់យល់ពីតម្រងសាច់ដុំហើយនឹងឆ្អឹងបានល្អច្រើន
សម្រាប់ខ្ញុំគិតថាខ្លួនឯងធ្វើបានល្អគ្រាន់ព្រោះពេលឮគាត់និយាយចឹងមានអារម្មណ៍ថាសប្បាយចិត្តគ្រាន់ដែលលោកគ្រូបានថាខ្ញុំធ្វើបានល្អខ្លះ
The assignment has given Kon a confidence boost in his own work. It's been 13 years since Kasahara set up the small art school, and it's still helping Cambodian children face the future through the power of art. How do Kasahara and her successor, Hia, feel about the future?
カンボジアには学校教育としての美術がございませんので、少しはあるらしいんですが、きちんとした美術教育はなされていませんので、できる限り小さな子どもたちから、少しずつ絵を描くことに親しんで、正直言いますと美術文化を発展させてほしいなと思ってます。過去のクメール人はそれができてたはずなんです。遺跡を見れば分かりますように。
ខ្ញុំគិតថាបើមានឱកាសខ្ញុំនឹងបងចង់បង្កើតមកកន្លែងទៀតបាទលៀនថាសាខាបន្ទាប់ទៀតដើម្បីឲ្យក្មេងៗបាទនៅក្នុងខេត្តយើងឬក៏នៅបាទបើជាបើអាចទៅបាទពេលនៅក្នុងខេត្តយើងប៉ុន្តែនៅរឿងឆ្ងាយពីនេះណាមានឱកាសសិក្សាដូចគ្នានៅទីនេះបាទអានេះជាគោលបំណងបើសិនបើអាចទៅបានរយៈពេលនៅថ្ងៃអនាគត
A chance for every person in Cambodia to learn art. It's a big goal shared by everyone at the small art school.
「世界中の美味しい食材が集まる東京から日本の豊かな食文化の世界を伝えるトレイルストゥおいしい東京」